to join me on my run across the country, you let me know. The pipe dream had been planted, but it remained a pipe dream for another 2.5 years until I ran the 2009 New York City Marathon. Waiting eagerly at the start line in Staten Island, the gun was finally fired, and Frank Sinatra singing "New York, New York" blared over the speakers. And I began to run with 50,000 runners from all over the world. I ran alongside blind runners who were guided by professionals, a bracelet linking their wrists together. I ran aside people in wheelchairs. Even a man with 2 prosthetic legs ran past me at one point. I ran alongside a young man and woman wearing matching just married jerseys and matching huge smiles. An 80-year-old woman was running in my pace group. And by that time, I was pretty fast, 10-minute miles. This woman was amazing. I ran alongside people whose t-shirts expressed who they were running for, what they were running for. And running the New York Marathon, it was one of the most emotional experiences of my life. By mile 24, running through Central Park, I began bawling like a baby. And not because of the pain I was in, but because of the extreme beauty that surrounded me. The sweat and exhaustion of each runner mingled with the cheering faces of the encouraging crowds epitomized for me the greatness of the human spirit. Our bodies are completely capable of anything. It was that marathon that made me realize I needed to turn my pipe dream into my reality. So I returned to St. Louis and told everybody that I was going to embark on a cross-country run. I was going to run for 65 days for cystic fibrosis from St. Louis to New York City. My training had begun, and I started to meet with key players in the CF St. Louis scene. And then the year from hell struck. I received a late Christmas present, not a lump of coal, but a big lump on my neck, which turned out to be thyroid cancer. This was not part of my training manual. An early birthday present, a moldy apartment, only to move into a buggy apartment, only to move back home with Mom and Dad. Also not part of my plan. 2 surgeries later, and I realized there was no way in hell my cross-country run was going to happen that summer. I hit the wall big time. I was ready to toss the whole plan out the window. I was angry and frustrated and just wanted to give up. But eventually, after a lot of soul searching, I was able to push through that wall. Because I knew if I never did this while I was young, then I never would, and I would always wonder. And I wasn't prepared to live with what-ifs. So instead of tossing it out, I merely postponed it to summer 2011. My friends and family helped me come up with a name, Run for Roses, in honor of my little sister and the 65 Roses trademark of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Training was once more in full swing. A committee of friends and family was formed. Fundraisers were in motion. I gave my job notice. And then February 2011 rolled around. My 1-year anniversary, not with Mr. Right, but with Mr. Thyroid Cancer. And I did all the tests and the checkups only to find out my boyfriend's back. Another surgery said goodbye to 42 lymph nodes and hello to a new and bigger scar. Creepy landlord text messages from the new apartment I'd been living in. Colleen, I saw you stretching this afternoon and thought if you would lose a few pounds, you wouldn't have to wear that fanny pack to keep your belly in. Had to move back home again. Once more, I had the perfect invitation to quit, to postpone once again, just to throw out the plan altogether. And believe me, I considered this option more than I would like to admit. But something was holding on for dear life, and I kept on going. And, you know, after the surgery, it was a lot more walking than running. My training was definitely stalled. But after a while, I found my stride, and running started to feel natural once again. And what had started out as a pipe dream in one crazy girl's head started snowballing into this national effort. This really hit me when I started getting phone calls from complete strangers. Rebecca Howard from Greencastle, Indiana. Hey, Colleen, my best friend has 2 kids with CF, and I want to run 50 miles with you along Highway 40. I've alerted our mayor, and the local press that Run for Roses is blazing through Greencastle. I'm trying to get a whole gang of runners to join us, and friends and family are sponsoring me for every mile I run with you. And then St. Louis Rams kicker Josh Brown agreed to attend our kickoff rally on July 21st in Keener Plaza. It was like the universe was finally smiling down on me, and the year from hell was over. When I crossed that finish line in Chicago back in '05, my uncle told me, Colleen, now that you've run a marathon, you can do anything. You can face anything that life throws you. Because running parallels life in so many ways. There's going to be times when you want to give up and when you want to stop running. There's going to be times when you fall and bloody up your knees so badly you look like a 10-year-old scrappy kid. There'll be times when your sides ache and you can't imagine going any further. But you keep going. And you put one foot in front of the other and you push through that wall. And you know what? You might have to slow down your pace a little bit. You might have to walk instead of run. And it probably ain't going to look pretty. You're going to be sweaty and stiff and maybe crawling on your hands and knees at times. But eventually, you will find your stride and run with the kind of grace and glee that children exude. Katie Rose Call will be a senior at Nearings Hall High School this fall. Watch out, world. Another Call-empowered woman is on her way. And the White Castle sliders and M&Ms paid off. Katie fell in love with running just as I did, and she's run for her cross-country team every year. And she is fast. Every St. Pat's Day, Katie and I run the 5-mile race downtown together, surrounded by runners in green, and without fail, when we come to the last home stretch, Katie is biting at the bit, ready to blast through to the finish line. It's okay, Katie. I'll catch up with you after the finish line. And being left in Katie's dust is a great place to be. I wouldn't have it any other way. And running is not only Katie's passion, but it's become a crucial part of her health regimen. Since she started running years ago, her lung functioning has never been stronger. And running has become life-saving for me too. Running is my outlet. It is the magic that allows me to push through when I hit the walls in life. One of Katie's favorite teachers has a fondness for nicknaming his students. And this year, John McGee nicknamed Katie Halo. When he heard about my run, he started calling me rock star in the hallways. Now, that was a bit of a stretch, but his nickname for Katie, Halo, could not be more on the money. She is an angel with a streak of wild Irish rose. Katie's not only known for her heart, but for her brains too. She's a straight A+ student, teachers love her, she works hard, but there was one religion class assignment that she was struggling with. They were to write about something in their life that made them unhappy, something they were disappointed about, something they wished they could change. And Katie could not think of a thing. After hours and hours of turmoil, she finally decided to write that there just was not enough time in the day to do everything that she loves. Katie has taught me to embrace the scrapes, the scars, and the struggles that life surfaces. Because without the challenges, there would be no triumphs, and if we never hit the wall, we would never experience the incredible high of crossing the finish line. This past Memorial Day weekend, the two best friends I left back in Queens flew me out to New York City for a much-needed visit. Now, New York City and I are like ex-lovers. Didn't quite work out living together, but I will always cherish the memories and be grateful for the people I met because of him. Rachel and Liz are my East Coast sisters, and seeing them 2 months before I embarked on this crazy run was exactly what I needed. When we were saying our goodbyes, Liz looked at me with a funny smile. "Colleen, next time you travel to New York City, you'll be running here." You know, all during Katie's childhood, I promised her that someday I would make her fly. But the truth is, it's always Katie who is inspiring her big sister, who is pushing me to spread my wings and daring me to fly. And on September 23rd, Katie and I will finally get to fly together, hand in hand, through that finish line at Rockefeller Center.